we will understand the concept of cycle in a linked list, and also we will use map, which we read earlier, to check if there is a cycle in a linked list, and also we will return the node at which cycle is happening. So first let us understand what is cycle in a linked list. Okay. So as you already see, this program is similar to what we already had before. Okay. We are having different nodes. Okay. Having different nodes. We have already defined these nodes. Head 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and head will be pointing to first. So here head will become equal to 1, and in 1 data we are filling 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, okay, or 4, whatever, anything we can fill. But look at this set of statements here. It says 1's next is 2, 2's next is 3, 3's next is 4, but 4 next is again 3. This line. So let's see it again. So this is one node, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. 4. Now 1's next is 2, 2's next is 3, this line, 3's next is 4, but 4 next is again 3. Okay. So this is a cycle. 4's next is 3. This corresponds to one cycle. So this we have to see if there is a cycle in a linked list. Okay. So that is the concept of cycle. Now we have filled those values, and we are passing head as 1. Head will become equal to 1. So head will iterate over all the 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever you are seeing here, nodes. Okay. So that we are calling the function cycle check here. Okay. Cycle check function will check the cycle and return a node where cycle is happening, starting. So in our case it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 will point to 3, so that's why cycle will be at third node. Okay. Now for that we made one cycle node as a pointer to the structure, and we assigned the malloc what we already do, and that return value will get here, and then we will print there is a cycle in the linked list at data node, and the cycle node which is returned by the function will be printed here, that cycle node's data. If not, it will print null. So if there is no cycle, it will print null or some junk value. Okay, not any value which is present here. Okay. So now we'll go to this function cycle check. So we are going to this function. Now we'll make use of the map data structure very beautifully in this program. Okay. How? So I'll tell you. So this cycle check function will accept a pointer to structure, that is one node, head node it will accept, and it will also return a node, pointer to a node, that node which is having cycle, like we had 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. So at fourth node, so second node, there is a pointer to third node, right? So it is repeating. So there is a cycle there. So it will return a pointer to this third node. A structure pointer to this third node. Now we define a map. So map will have two things, a key and value. In our case, key will be node star, that means a pointer, means as we go to 1, 2, 3, those nodes, those are of type node star, right? So that will be the first key, and second value will be an integer, that will be the data at that node. Why we are doing this? So idea is, suppose a node will point to other node. Suppose this is pointing to this node. So if we already push the this nodes, node 1, say 1, 2, 3, okay, for everything we push into a map. So if this node and this node, 1 second, I will draw it again. It's better to draw here. Okay. So in our case, we had made a linked list where it was 1 node, this was 2, this was 3, this was 4. So next of 4 node was third, and next of 2 also was third. Okay. So if we, and 1 next is 2, 2 next is 3, 3 next is 4, 4 next is 3. So we have seen 2's next is also 3, and 4 next is also 3. Okay. So basically 2's next and third next both will have same value, right? Because 2 next is also 3 and 4 next is also 3. Basically it will be like 2 and 4 both pointing to 3. You can say that, right? This part 2 is pointing to 3 and 4 is also pointing to 3. So you can explain it like this way. I'll draw here. This is 2, this is 4, both will point to 3. It can be shown as this way, right? So basically 2 and 4 will have same value, right, as a pointer. Correct? I'll draw it once more. So just see once more, idea will be more clear now. This was 1 node, this was 2, this was 3, this is 4. 1's next was 2, 2 next was 3, third next was 4, 4th next is again 3. So 2's next is also 3 here, this part, and 4th next is also 3. This can be explained like this. Pay attention here. This will be 2 and this will be 4. Both pointer contains pointer to node 3. So 2 and 4 will have same value. Okay. Basically, because the next pointer will have same value. Because they are both pointing to the same node, so their address will be same, right? So they will be essentially same value will be there in their pointer. So using this fact, if we are pushing all the nodes into a map with first value as key temp, that is will be iterating, will be changing one by one from 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this value 1, 2, 3, 4 will be in map. It will be somewhere in map. Okay, this 4 values will be in map. And now pointer increase. So suppose 1 is pushed. If there is a cycle at 2 to 1, then 2's next will be 1, so we will find that value in map, right? Like I showed you that 2, I'll draw it once more, 2 and 4, both next were 3. So 2 and 3 will have same value. Suppose we already put 2 in the map. We are inserting each one by one that temp. Basically temp is a copy of head, so it will have same value as head. And if we increase it one by one, it will iterate over 1, 2, 3, 4, all the elements. Okay. So when we inserted 2, it is in map. 2 is in map. Now when we go for 4th, okay, and 4 we have before putting, so when we did temp equal to temp ptr, temp equal to temp next, so that time it will be 3 and then it will be 4, okay. At point where it is 4, it will try to find mp.find temp, that temp is 4 now, and if it is not empty, means if 4 and 2 are same, right, if there is a cycle, then this condition will be satisfied. So this auto ITR is a way to, so see, find function will give you 2 values, one will be key and one will be its value, so 2 things will come, okay. So that's why we use auto variable that we have already told in a map. So now if now this mp.find is able to find the temp, so when the temp reaches to 4th node, okay. So we told you that 2 and 4 are essentially pointing to same 3 node, right? Because it was like 1, 2, 3, 4. So once next is 1, 2, 3, 4. 2's next is 3 and 4's next is also 3. So 2's next is 3, 4's next is also 3. So in that case there is a cycle. So 2 and 4 will have same value, correct? So now if 2 is already inserted at some point, and then when we reach at 4th node, and 4th also we are trying to find. So because 2 and 4 are same value, this condition will be satisfied. So when map is not able to find any key, it will give mp.end, or that so map was node star int and name was mp. So the mp, that object name empty.find, if you do, and if it is if it is repeating mp.end, then that key is not found. So key is not found, then there will be no cycle. Okay. So when key is not found, there will be no cycle. So this condition will be satisfied only when there is a key, there is a cycle. I told you 2 and 4 both are pointing to 3. In that case 2 and 4 will be same pointer, will have the same value basically, because they are pointing to same variable, same node. So in that case cycle will be found, and it will be found at temp data, because we will say that cycle is found at that 4th node, and in our case 4th node will have, we had 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. So data is, so 1 second, that is not a data. So that will be point where cycle is found, and we will return that temp iterator, and it will break from the loop. Okay. So 1 second, in our case data was 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So data was 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. This was first one node. 2, 3, 4. So it was 3 and it was 4. So fourth next is 3. So we'll say that at this node which is having 3, there is a cycle, right? Because fourth next was third. This was one node, this was two node, this was third node, this was fourth node. Okay. So we'll see, tell that at node where 3 is present, that is having cycle. So if you see, we can print here temp data, and also we can put cycle found at temp data, because at that point there is a match found. Also, when we return that value here, cycle node, okay, that time when we will print, there is a cycle in the linked list at data node, and cycle node data we will print. Okay. So this will print. So when you see it, it says there is a cycle found at 3, there is a cycle in the linked list at data node 3. And that was the case also. Some prints are there which I have put for debugging. So, and also we can see here, 1 next was this, 1, 2, 3, 4. So once, so this was one node, this was 2, 3 and 4. So once next was 2, this line, 2 next was 3, this line, 3 next was 4, this line, and 4 next was 3. That's why cycle is at this 3 node, where 1, 2, 3, 2 and 1. So 3 was present, right? The value 3. That's why we said cycle is at node where data is 3. Thanks.